Hey everybody, welcome to Mahoning Matters interviews. I'm editor Chris Pugh. I'd like to do this just to talk to newsmakers in the area and just talk about things happening around the valley. And we're excited to have on Robert Santos, one of the trustees for Austintown. A couple of things going over there I want to ask him about. So Robert, thanks for coming on. How are you today?
I'm doing good. Thanks for letting me come on today, Chris. I
Oh,
appreciate
no
it.
problem. Thanks for coming. Let's talk a little bit about you guys have issue two passed, where it legalizes marijuana across the state. There are some questions now saying what's next, and some of the towns in the area are trying to figure out, well, what do we allow, what don't we allow, what can we do, and you guys are talking about creating a zone where a dispensary can come in and do business.
Mhm.
Talk about, I know it's a proposal right now, but you guys have kind of come up with a proposal that you're going to send to the Zoning Board of Appeals. What are we looking at with that proposal?
One of the things that we're looking at is just restricting the area so that way it can be most beneficial to the township. At the same time, not causing any issues. Obviously, issue two, regardless where you stand, it's a controversial issue. So we
Yeah.
want to do our very best to ensure that one, the individuals who came out in Austin who voted yes on this issue get what they want. Because again, it's our job as elected officials to be the voice of the people. What better way to know the voice of the people than for them to go out to the ballot box and check that box? So it's our job to ensure that's initiated. So there was some authority that the state put down on us that we're allowed to do, and we just felt that we should send a proposal to the zoning commission where we believe that this should be. We're going to request with them that we would like it certain restricted. We're definitely going to respect their opinion. It's got their process to go through, and we'll see what happens with that, if they agree or not.
Is there one place that is already applied, or is it going to be there'll be a zone or room for one place to come in?
So the township is only authorizing one. That's not
Okay.
going to the zoning board at all. That authority lies within the commissioner, or excuse me, the I apologize, the
Oh yeah,
trustees. Who knows? Maybe one day I will be a commissioner. No, no,
yeah.
not even. I like where I'm at. I'm very content. I enjoy all of them.
Breaking
Um,
news.
that authority lies within the trustees. We already put a resolution that we're only allowing one in this township, and now we're just requesting to the zoning board that we would like the one that's coming to Austintown, if we do get approved, and there's no guarantee that we would restrict it to this one location. Now, the process, we have been, I'm sure they've got the phone calls. I got phone calls from some businesses. Everything I relay to these business owners who were inquiring about coming to Austintown is that it's their blanket statement. We have zero control on what business comes into Austintown. It is
Right.
a lottery system that's being done by the state, and then whoever pulls the number is next in line. They can say where they're going to go. They'll give an area. Here's all the areas in Ohio that are allowing dispensaries. You get your first pick. Once he picks, they pull another one out of the hat. Metaphorically, there is, of course, and they just keep going down the line. So it's a lottery system. The state is only allowing 350. So there's no guarantee that we're even going to get one. We hope we will. The reason being is part of the ballot language was there is an additional 10% sales tax on marijuana sales. And of that, the township will receive 35%. So if a dispensary does $20 million in sales, I do know that's a lot of money, but if you
Yeah.
look at the states that have dispensaries, they actually reach that amount, if not more. So in that amount of money in sales, the township would receive $700,000 in funding that we can use to adequately distribute through our departments.
Yeah. And what would that mean to you? I mean, obviously, getting extra money is always a good thing, but what does that mean? I mean, does that mean it's another policeman? I mean, it sounds like there's a lot you could do with money like that.
There is obviously emergency responders are by far our top priority. They're definitely, we want to make sure they're well equipped so they can do the safety of our residents. But we also have to look at other areas where, for example, this is hypothetical. Let's say a vehicle breaks down in the road department and we need a new plow. We can easily
Yeah.
take the funding from there and go ahead and pay for that. There's a lot of things that pop up out of nowhere. We bought a vehicle not too long ago. It's only been 3 years. It's already broken. and it's like, oh my gosh, what's going on?
Yeah.
We have other vehicles that we bought in the 80s that work perfectly fine. Another example is our township park. It is the main area. It's over 250 acres. Now, there was a tax levy back in the 80s, I believe 86, which only brings in about maybe $300,000. It give or takes every year, it fluctuates, but $300,000. But that's for that one whole area, that 250 acre park. Plus, there is 4 other additional locations they are responsible for, and we only have 3 employees. So we would love to see some of that funding brought in so we can utilize that to actually increase the amenities we have in our park. We can't stop a business from coming. We can't, we can't stop a business from leaving like Skate Zone did. We can't force a business to come in. So we see all these things for our kids that are going away. So what's one thing we can do as elected officials to ensure our kids have something to do? Hey, let's get some more amenities at our park. People will see that when they're looking for a place to live. I know I'm one of them. When I was looking for a place to live, the first thing I checked was schools and parks. So if we have a park, we definitely have an outstanding school. So that goes without saying. But if we have a lot of amenities at the park, residents will come in. It would just definitely help out the township altogether.
Has money from places like that, I'm thinking even like the Racino, that's probably helped you guys out too, right? Taxes from there.
The property taxes from that does help it out. The township only receives property taxes. There is a TIF on there, but the majority of the TIF actually goes to the county, and it's for county infrastructure. So we obviously market to the county commissioners, hey, listen, this Racino is bringing in this much money additional because of the TIF that you implemented. And we obviously advocate for some of that money to come back here in the township on the county roads.
Well, and the thought would be is, if it's county money, it's still going to help you if you live in Austintown, but Austintown is part of Mahoning. So,
but the Racino helps out. They donate a lot. I mean, honestly, there's several businesses in Austintown, basically all of them. They care about our community. Whenever there's a project coming out, they do what they can. Sam Boak is one of them for Boak and Sons. They do a phenomenal job. Greenwood Chevrolet, Fred Martin Ford. I can go on and talk for hours. Every business in Austintown, they're all willing to give something, especially when financial issues are right here. We see it nationwide. Costs are going up. It's hard for businesses to stay in play, but yet these businesses still find a way to donate funding back so we actually can have something here in Austintown.
As you say, it's passed. You guys may have voted against it, but it's passed, and you're looking at how to maximize the reality of it coming in. Has there been any talk with like the police department or anything on what practically happens? Like, you see a lot of political talk both ways before the election saying, hey, we're concerned because this will bring this or the other thing. Has there been like a reality check on what it would mean for a police department to have like legal marijuana in the area? And again, it's all throughout the state. It doesn't matter if you have a dispensary in Austintown or not. I mean, has there been talk to the police department about what would this change, or is this going to have a bigger effect on them?
We actually reached out to our newly promoted captain, Tom Collins. He's actually going to get some statistics together. He doesn't see this being, none of us actually see this being that big of an issue. I know one side says the crime is going to increase, whether we have a dispensary or not. If there is going to be any crime increase, it's going to be because people are already allowed to smoke it. People are already allowed to grow it. That's one authority that we do not have as a township to stop. So it's already going to be here in the township. Another argument is people are going to say they're smelling it everywhere. Well, people have been able to smoke it for a few months now. I have yet to smell it once. So the people who are recreational use of marijuana, they're being very sensible. They're being reasonable with the patient. I just ask that they don't overdo it. Be wary of your neighbors. And definitely same thing as drinking. Don't drive after you utilize that stuff. It's not safe for anybody.
Yeah, it seems like that. I'm sure you guys had those questions when the Racino came in. Like, everyone's like, oh, it's going to change everybody forever. But anymore, it turns to be, it's a business. You go there, you don't go there. It operates and people operate. You just don't overindulge at a business in your
That was one of the questions I asked. Obviously, I got elected after the Racino was already in and everything. And I talked to Kevin and Rob after Racino and Chief Cavalier with our police department. And I asked them, like, hey, when this Racino first came in, what was the crime like? And there was an increase, but because our outstanding police officers and the efforts of the Racino, they squashed that bug faster than anywhere else. So if there is any type of negative effect from this dispensary, I'm sure we'll see something initially if there is going to be one, and we will make sure it's squashed immediately.
Yeah, definitely. A couple of things Austintown related that you mentioned beforehand. The 9/11 Memorial Park. I know it's not strictly Austintown, but it sounded like there were some good things you guys were doing to help out that park there.
Yes. Well, the Austintown 9/11, the Mahoning Valley 9/11 Memorial. God rest his soul, Pat Conley. Before he passed away, he had his dream of a 9/11 memorial to ensure all those who sacrificed and gave everything on that tragic day have a place to be honored. So he put together a phenomenal park. It has 2 steel beams from the 93rd floor. We got a rock from the Pentagon, sand from the Pennsylvania crash. It's very beautiful. So the committee now, what we wanted to do was have a museum because we have all these artifacts that people have been donating. Education is definitely key. We do a lot of instructions to the classes who come out for a field day, for field trips, and we want to be able to have a place for them they can better educate themselves. So with the committee's help and my connections I have at the state, I contacted Senator Ruley. We went ahead and did the process for some of the capital budget funding. Thank goodness that Senator Ruley, now Congressman Ruley, but at the time with the senator, he pushed forward and it got approved for $50,000 for the museum, including some beautification around the area as well for that expansion. So it's definitely it's like a kid on Christmas. You're excited. You see all that work going on. Definitely had the support from the fellow trustees. The school board was on board. We had a letter from the county commissioners that they were 100% in support of this project. So I definitely appreciate everyone's support. It's definitely an honor to see this going through, and I can't wait to break ground. So.
Yeah, and speaking of Ruley, he helped out also with your Austintown park that you guys had some revitalization with the bathrooms and everything. So it sounds like a really impressive project.
Yeah, he did. About 2022, we had a project that we submitted for. Obviously, with some details, that's a whole long conversation, but there were some adjustments that had to be made. But long story short, we were able to use $148,000 to expand our township park to add amenities for those with special needs, so those who have some mobility issues. So we have a zip line. One side of the zip line has a chair that individuals who are not as mobile, where a parent can take them, put them in, they can enjoy that amenity. We have a wheelchair swing. There's a sensory board. There's a communication board as well. That's something that actually was very honorable. I appreciate everyone's hard work on that. Not to mention the Austintown Rotary, they donated $10,000 to this project as well, because we have a pavilion. I'm not sure when the last time we were at a park, there were these rubber mats. It was just, they were moving, people were tripping. It was just it wasn't a safe environment. So we ripped those out. After consideration, we talked to Austintown Rotary, and we had that whole entire area cemented. So because of their generosity of that $10,000 they donated, we're now going to label that particular area the Austintown Rotary picnic area. We have some benches and some picnic tables that were donated. Like we spoke about earlier, some of the businesses throughout the community are donating some benches so parents have a place to sit down, eat with their kids. They can sit down and watch their kids enjoy the playground. It's awesome. So that's one cool thing. The other is not approved yet. We got to knock on wood. But obviously everyone knows that we have a huge bathroom issue at our park. It's something that's been going on for 4 years. So we have porta johns, not in any way, shape, or form something that we want. We're working tirelessly with EPA. There's a whole long 2-hour conversation on what's going on with that. It's a septic issue. We're doing our very best to follow compliances, just where the Stacy Pavilion is and the requirements you need for a septic tank. There's a lot of hurdles that need to be taken. So what the trustees did is we said, hey, what can we do if this goes south? We obviously need to have bathrooms in our park. So what can we do? So I got in touch with Sarah Keeler, who used to work with, at the time, Congressman Johnson's office. He's now the president of YSU. She told me about some grants that were coming up. And because at that time we didn't have a congressman, we submitted it through Senator Sherrod Brown's office. Have the septic line extended onto the park. So we would completely remove the septic tanks. We would have a septic line. Now, the cool news about that project is it made the first hurdle, which is the most difficult. And it's now going to the subcommittee in DC. We should know probably by, I want to say November, December, if that's approved. That's a $1.8 million project. The benefits of this particular project is it's not a septic tank. And having this there opens the doors to a wide variety of other expansions that we can do at our hidden gem we have in Austintown. It's our park. We can expand our splash pad because right now we can't be bigger because anything bigger has to be drained in the septic tank. We can increase bathrooms so we can have some bathrooms over by the AGSL fields. They have a miniature snack shack. They would love to be able to cook some things as well. They can't do that because there's no drainage system there or sanitary. So if we have that line, they can tap in. It's just, there's a plethora of more amenities that we actually can have if this gets approved. So knock on wood, if anyone knows Sherrod Brown's office's number, call call DC. I actually will be heading to DC on the 25th, 26th, 27th for a variety of issues, but mostly to advocate for this so we can see this going through. So knock on wood, let's hope this happens and we'll have an answer hopefully by November and it'll be good news.
Well, I know a lot of people are excited about what's happening over there. So I know you've got a lot of Austintown people excited about at least, which, hopefully will help. Oh, and the other thing I wanted to ask about, I forgot to mention this beforehand. We previewed the flag retirement ceremony that was held in Austintown over the weekend. How'd that go?
It went great. American Legion, Post 301, and the VFW of Austintown, they do a phenomenal job hosting this event every single year. We try to do our very best to get it out there, what we're doing. Obviously, there are some individuals who don't read the paper, so I would suggest read the paper. Some individuals who think we're disrespecting the flag, but we're not. There is one way per the U.S. code on how to properly retire a flag, and it does require burning, but there is a proper, honorable way to do that, and that's what the Legion and the VFW does every year.
Yeah, it's good to get that information out there just so people know what's going on and the proper right way of doing it. Well, Robert, thanks for your time. I appreciate it. We'll try to have this on occasion just so we keep updated with all the great stuff happening over at Austintown. Hang on for a minute afterwards, and thanks for checking us out. Mahoning Matters Interviews. This is Chris Pugh.
Thank you.